hi. Oh, hi. Oh, hi. I am General Grumpus Grim of the first LARP Ingression Protocol. Welcome to the LARP Gate. You are virtually not alone right now. Like, you're mostly alone, it's just you and your phone. But in your home is also my voice and anything I bring in from the and anything I bring in from the live, virtually not alone with us all, Hive Mind Chat, which is right bloody. You can say bloody because we're American, right? That's how that works. Son of a hi everybody. This episode, I'm not even using the right mic. Watch. Okay, so that's the other mic. Okay, and here's my fancy Blue Yeti mic. Behold the difference. Well, yeah. Behold. Did you see the transition? Did you hear the transition? Did you detect audibly that you haven't even shared this in the Discord yet? Brought to you by the Shadow Cabal of production executives, also known as my patrons and Substacks, and just the amalgam, really, of people who think that this is worth their time and attention and or finances, so that I don't have to go mow lawns, even though I have to go mow my lawn. You know how that works, right? Like, personally, here's the deal. I think you get people to fund, like, the equipment through some charity NGO nonsense, and then take all the otherwise unemployed people and have them mow the lawns of the silver tsunami of lonely old people getting bombarded by telemarketers because they can't really mow the lawns. And then, like, I don't know, take the leftovers that were going to be thrown out of the local grocery stores for that day and give them to an old abandoned restaurant where they cook food for the people that mow the lawns. And it would be like work was getting done without anybody having a job. Oh, look, Freedom Lunch is here for lunch. You have freedom at your lunch, and now you're here? Or what? The horror of the butt-sounding Yeti? Oh no. This is worser? That's not good. This is supposed to be better. So are you saying, lunch friend, that this sounds better to you? Is that accurate? Am I perceiving correctly the input from the Hive Mind Chat over here? Oh, look, guys, I started a new Medium article. It says, it's really hard to grab something just by clicking the spot. If you over there, it's Jesus would get himself killed. To what extent is crucifixion the same as suicide by cop? Having just come off of watching Paul Vanderklay's treatment of Love's Executioner, I'm pacing around preparing for today's episode, and my mind has returned twice to my conversation with Burn Power. You see, once upon a time, this guy named Burn Power and I had a conversation, and he put it on the Anadromist channel in his dialogues number 5. Inevitable I was, apparently.
The last 7 days, and I just said, okay, well, I'm here, I'm not going anywhere. It's obviously this is the end game. So I just said, let me get out my paper, start writing and noting everything that happened.
To unmute and mute, I have to remember to unmute and mute this one over there. Coincidentally, the clip was queued up there. I did not do that on purpose. And that he says those words was what was fueled by what I considered the serendipity engine. It's what is the power behind synchronicities.
And I noted some very, very powerful experiences.
Did you catch a lucid moment?
She didn't want to die in a hospital. I didn't want her to die in a hospital. She stopped eating the last 7 days. And I just said, okay, well, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. It's obviously, this is the end game. So I just said, let me get out my paper.
Okay, so the clip the Serendipity engine provided in that circumstance was, "This is the end game." So I'm gonna get out my paper and note everything, and it's from a moment in this thing that keeps coming back to me. Like when I spoke with Karen Wong the other day, I told her about the concept of the monkey mind and the memory tree, because a lot of the meditator folks call the thing that's always chittering in your mind, or like your internal narrator, I guess that is. They call that the monkey mind. And if you quiet the monkey mind during meditation, you can alter what levels of consciousness you get access to. But so I took the monkey mind from that concept and I put it in the memory tree in my conversation with Karen Wong. And like, so there we were, two faces, virtually not alone, at an interchange. And so I would like try to remember a thing, and I would send the monkey mind down the memory tree to grab some leaves and bring up to the conversation. Well, in this, so that's what happened between me and Burn Power. And for some reason, this was technically the second time I had spoken to him, but the first one totally doesn't count because he thought I was a fan and not a general. So the conversation was like mostly miscommunication. But then finally he recognized me for who I am, and we had an official, like, for the public recorded discussion. And so the second time I'm talking to this guy, he goes into like how he cared for his dying mother. And that like added salience. The novelty of that notion added salience to the memory leaf that the monkey mind went down and grabbed. So whenever I do think of the conversation I had with Burn Power, that happened is one of the memories that floats up. And see, the thing is with the memory tree is like now I'm also seeing it as a lotus flower in a river where leaves float up, like that one. Because you know, sometimes I'm walking around thinking other things, and I'll remember embody. This is a show. Welcome to the LARP Gate. There is no fourth wall. I am General Griswold Gaius Grimm of the First LARP Aggression Protocol, and this is the Welcome Friends episode, brought to you by Generics, Genetics, and Friends, with special thanks to the Shadow Cabal of production executives. Right? Right. Now run some burn and go smoke. Great.
Start writing and noting everything that happens. And I noted some very, very powerful experiences. When
Did you catch a lucid moment?
Well, the whole thing was.
She
Because,
was lucid the whole time?
well, I had to be.
No, she. Was she like...
Was she? No, she was coming in and out of it, and in and out. Near the end, there was just a glimmer of life. And I could feel, as I held her hand, I could feel the coldness working its way up from her feet all the way to her head. And finally, when her head went cold, that was it. And she was done. And I could tell the instant she was gone. And when that was done, I didn't feel like, oh my God, my mother. I did feel sad, very sad. But I also felt like I did it. I was a good son. I went to the end. You know, I didn't throw her into an institution. I didn't put her in a hospital just to, you know, have IV drips endlessly prolonging what really shouldn't have been prolonged. At the same time, I could understand all sorts of dark thoughts. I could understand why a person would be tempted to put their relative out of their misery. You know, I could understand, you know, these very dark things. And I had different people coming and going, but in the end, it was me and her. And then I had to build the coffin, because in Alaska, you can do that. They're very therapeutic.
Building a coffin makes me remember embody when I was being indoctrinated in the local high school. They made us read a book by some guy, I believe was named William Faulkner, about how these hillbilly people had to tote their dead grandma for miles and miles and miles and Alphabet, hello! Did you know Alphabet may or may not be involved in a project on the Discord where we're examining... It's just us LARPing. Oh. Where we're examining... Opening the Discord while you're talking is so difficult. Going to the right place in the Discord while you're talking is also difficult, but maybe you can talk yourself through it. Did you know that there is a disclaimer room on the Broken Clock Tower Discord, at which, if the invite link in the description doesn't work, please let me know in the comments, because they go dead and I don't notice for a long time. But over there, on the Discord, Toots, who has also joined us in the chat, has beginning a project that is scheduled to launch in 2 to 3 weeks from now. And the introductory post for it went as follows. I would like interested members, monkeys, to gather on a voice vid channel once a fortnight and use the asaid book to practice Socratic dialectic. A sentence paragraph of the text is read. One person presents an argument, the others circle around and stab him to... circle around, asking questions and challenging to draw out the development of ideas. One person presents an argument and everyone else tries to make it bleed. An invitation for active involvement in knowledge production in the moment. An extension of the tavern tennis matches, which happen in the Broken Clock Tower Discord in the Broken Clock Tavern. It's the general chat of all the other Discords, but with a fancy place name that dictates the expected behavior of... Because you know it's a tavern and people, like, get loose and talk in those. So it's called the Broken Clock Tavern. And we have tennis matches, especially me and Hyun-Chu, who always reminds me of the George Michael song, You Gotta Have Faith, the Faith, the Faith. However, the reason he reminds me of that song is low-key, like, I see George Michael in a leather jacket, like steering one of the claw grabber machines toward a stuffed animal to make him feel home, right? And it's like, but it's gonna take time. You got to have faith, right? I don't know. It's very confusing in my mind, but it's beautiful. And every time he reminds me of that. He and I tennis match back and forth with weird philosophical notions in the tavern, and that's what the referring tavern tennis matches was referring to. I'll begin again. An invitation for active involvement in knowledge production in the moment. An extension of tavern tennis matches. However, staying with one idea and argument until we feel we've exhausted it for our understanding, and the corpse falls dead at our feet. At this point in time, knowledge construction is a process rather than an end product being shared. This is what I want to do. So, an argument as a blood bag. Witness me. Oh God. I don't know if you know this, but you're about to. If you don't, make your savings throws, ladies and gentlemen. Here they are. I finally get to it. And I don't know of anybody going around having you guess 4 numbers and then taking some of your bitcoins, and then whoever guesses most closely to the numbers actually rolled gets the bitcoins of everyone. I haven't heard about that happening, despite me repeatedly saying I haven't heard about that happening. You get to choose between survival, social, wisdom, or heart as your personal savings throw against the mind control in this episode. Now expanding both forward and backward to the mind control you've already consumed. Those of you who chose survival got a 2, meaning you're going to need at least 8 points of bonuses, which you get awarded by the community. So in the tavern, the tavern, but the town square mainly. And socialists with a 5. Sophis with a 10. Lovers of wisdom. And speaking of which, I have tentatively begun negotiations with a guy I think going by the moniker the Sophiologist for a discussion of fringe encounter. Hard folks with a 13. You're fine. I will have damage. So, I mean, I'm adorable and funny and you're having a good time. You're adding your own opinions and thoughts in the hive mind where Dust to Dust has made an appearance. Hello, Dust to Dust. Welcome. Pacao says, just us is poetic justice. Ooh, that's deep, bro. That's deep. Oh, that thing I was going to show you. Over in my notifications, I saw, I guess it was a while ago. Oh. No, wait, this is the new one. Sorry.
Because it is true, you have to walk in somebody else's shoes to understand. It's like
or you can just take their opinion. But the one I'm talking about is this one here.
And
where we received a shout out.
So in that video,
about here, me and Karen Wong. Hey.
Yeah. What do you think?
I was thinking about Karen Wong. So I just recently watched the video with Karen Wong and Grizz Grimm.
Shout out Karen. Shout out Grimm.
Shout out Grimm.
So apparently in the part of the gratitude farming, you're supposed to do reciprocal shouting outs and or at least acknowledging in the comments thereof. And Karen Wong has the professional acumen to do so with the following comment. And all things work together for good for those who are called according to his purpose. It is not that all things are good, but it is that when something that is not good happens, we offer it back to him with gratitude and humility. He can make something beautiful out of it. The important thing is not to jump off of the potter's wheel, but to keep yourself under his loving hand, so that when you go astray, he can make you and mold you into something beautiful. The fascinating thing is that all of these broken places and scars can actually contribute to the beauty. Well, Lynn, are you here? I do too. It's terrible. It's terrible, but recursive self-reflection is a damn good way to learn. I should do more of it. Did you know that recently Agent 69 had a fringe encounter with me here on this channel, and he spoke repeatedly of what is loosely at least associated with John Vervaeke, the Awakening from the Meaning Crisis Discord, where the man himself responds to Q&As. It's fancy, and I guess those are videos I haven't ever looked up. This episode of Welcome Friends, the Grim Grid's Virtually Not Alone Network livestream show, is brought to you by my production executive Shadow Cabal, with the slogan of the episode being Generics, Genetics, and Friends. Which means after my next break, I am definitely going to have to get to the Welcome Friends part of this episode. Oh, what? Would you like to take a Panopticon placebo? We're all watching you. We're all here together, watching you. We have a ball of energy from this. It's a little Panopticon because it's just all of us watching each other, but to the extent that happens over the course of space and time, this increases the power of the Panopticon placebo. And so, like all of our combined energy right now, I'm going to tweak it to be a healing sort of energy, right? and then shove it in your face. You're feeling better now, aren't you? You're feeling better, you little... What the fuck, dude? I don't even know, bro. Here's... Oh yes, so, there exists such a thing called the Awakening from the Meaning Crisis Discord, and they do practices there. And since I have infiltrated that Discord, I managed to obtain this really interesting document, the list of virtues. There seems to be almost 100, so you can press a random virtue, like rolling a die, to see what virtue you should be focusing on today. Openness. The best weapon of a dictatorship is secrecy, but the weapon of a democracy should be the weapon of openness. Niels bored me. Nor do men light a lamp and put it under a bushel, but on a stand, and it gives light to all the house. Jesus. You know, Jesus. You just reminded me of a tweet I recently made that goes something like, the shattered prisons of selfhood. The shattered prisons of selfhood. And like, I get a whole lot of like, I like following you, man, but I have no idea what you're talking about ever. So, I'm going to go over this help you understand. Welcome, friends, to this episode of the Virtually Not Alone Network show, Grimgriz something something. Oh, and as a side note, today's episode is on the 6th day of the 6th month in a year that numerically adds to 6. And at this moment, last time I checked, I have 666 subscribers. So if that means you need to quit watching and go pray in the closet, I encourage it, because like praying in the closet is good for you. Okay, welcome, friends. I'm about to explain the shattered prisons of selfhood, and we'll all have fun together. You ready? Here we go. File new. Okay. First, you have a light source. We're gonna call that like God, because you can't stop us. We can say it. Okay, so God is this light source of awareness, like the best bliss awareness is light. Okay, and it shoots itself. Wait, no. Over this way into something that survives as an interior self, as an exterior self, is capable of love, can learn wisdom, might be intelligent, and is a total package. Now, each of these dots have needs. Like this one, hold on. Like this one here, but thicker. This one here is stuff like you need to eat. Life has to consume life to continue, so you should eat. And you're also going to need to sleep because you're a dreamer, and it lets these things cohere and align. And you're probably going to want to make a replacement for when you expire, so you might want to have sex. All these things are needs of the red dot. And then, like, to not feel like a worthless piece of shit, that's this one. That's that need. Okay, and then, like, loving just interaction with other beings, because like the thing about being this light that's awesome and stuff is you can only really see reflections. You can only see the that thing Jesus said. Like it gives light to all the house. You can see the house, but you are the light. You can't really see yourself for shit. Oh, I didn't. I looked it back up. Oh, hey. Do you really think there's a meaning crisis? Well, there's this thing called neuro-linguistic programming. So to the extent that people accept that there is a crisis of meaning, or resonate that they already have a crisis of meaning and hear the term crisis of meaning, that placebo makes them create the egregore of a meaning crisis, because it's like Santa Claus. All these people believe in it and support our LARPing, that it's a real thing. And so that it's a thing they're all LARPing has real effects in the external world. Like my mother, when I was a child, lying to me and saying that the present was Santa, even though she had the right on the label. So you LARP, it's like an egregore is a thing that is created and modified and manifests through LARPing human beings. Oh, we're doing, yeah, hold on. Turn it back on. All right, love, therefore, then comes, okay, so anyway, there's a bunch. And like people write books about that, so you can find other sources for it. But the point is, the light from over here comes through this thing and has to go shine out. And when it does, it shines out in the right color. So it reflects the, like, okay, so we're on the internet. So we're doing these ones, which are wisdom and intellect and love, okay, and maybe some social. And then if you get patrons, the social helps with survival, and then that makes you feel good about yourself, so you shoot out the orange one. But like any given context is a constellation of where needs do or do not get met. And so online, most often, we get these ones being met up here, but not so much these ones here. So we have this meat space reality with like a whole different set of relationships that we define ourselves through. And then an intellectual, and there's this chasm that's occurring in our sense of identity between the two. And that's what I mean when I say the shattered prisons of selfhood. Okay? Okay. Oh, you gotta turn paint off. Okay? Everybody okay with that? Freedom's Lunch asks me in the Hive Mind chat over really, yes, over here. You see? It's on the screen. It's not just like they're typing in it over here on their devices, but for you it's also appearing here. Possibly readable on your device. I don't know how you're accessing this plane of existence right now. The sin rays and sun rays is I believe Toots' reference to the 666 of June 6th, 2022, and the Grimgir Show with 666 subscribers. But anyway, Freedom's Lunch asks, oh yes, is human synonymous with LARP? Okay, so what is, okay, so we create this inside, in the orange guy, we create this narrator linguistic system, a neuro-linguistic persona that narrates our life to us and expresses some amalgamation that comes off as its opinion. And it apparently depends on how you're triggered and tuned as a prism to how that opinion bounces there and then therefore reflects on your self-perception. But I am whatever you say I am. So I am my opinion of myself is dependent on what you reflect back to me or project on me. And like, you can project on, that whole eyeball thing with Karen. Maybe we'll just play some of that. That's in the, over on your channel, Grim? Yeah, over on my channel. You can go into playlists, right? And it has this, oh look, where I read The Crisis of Freedom, Paul. Where I read it already. No, just the first 4 parts, really. Where is it? Look at all this stuff you have in here, man. I know, right? But like one of them, those are your liked videos. God, can you navigate?
They both understand.
Oh, selected
each other.
playlists, conversations and such. It was right there the whole time. Meh.
Yeah, it's a sad song.
It is a sad song. Here's me and
Wonder
Karen
how
Wong.
did these undifferentiated cells know where to go to build the leg or to build the eye or to build the heart? And he discovered this bioelectric communication that the cells talk to each other and they say something like, you go over there and you build an arm, and you go over there and you build an eye. But then he also said something very mysterious that he's never really dug into, and nobody's ever asked him, as far as I can find. He said, and then when they get there, they have this subroutine that's already prepared so that the eye can be built. They don't talk to each other about how to build an eye. They just talk about where to put the eye, and then the subroutine kicks in. What, subroutine? Come on, are you kidding me? There's just a little package that goes bing, and then it decompresses, and out comes all the architecture to build an eye.
Well, that's presumptuous, right? That there is a subroutine.
Well, I mean, he used the word subroutine.
But if we're looking at bioelectric signaling in a potentially electric universe, then there's no reason we shouldn't think that information is being transmitted to those cells, not from each other, but from the vertical. Yes,
exactly. And that's part of what Michael Claridge was talking about when he, in this lecture that I'm going to put in the show notes, he even was talking about like snowflakes, that there's no reason that snowflakes are the way that they are. And his thinking is that the snowflake forms inside of this electrical field. And that's why it gets the shape that it gets, because, snowflakes are all unique. Which brings up another thought. I've been listening to Stephen Wolfram in some of his process conversations that he has with different scientists, because he's exploring how his theory works out in biology or in chemistry or in multicellular organisms and that kind of thing.
Okay, when you say his theory, to me that means like pockets of intelligibility. Is there another? Yes, there's another one. Go see it for yourself to find out. No, but elsewhere in that conversation with Karen, I brought up the fancy Joseph Campbell God mask concept. And maybe it'll show up in the lingo guide. But the God mask is like the frame for reality that we pass on to a child when it reaches a certain age. And it's due for said child to start taking responsibility for the society they're in. And not just feed off it parasitically and help destroy it. So there's like the God, the one, oh wow, I didn't get to the point earlier. Holy smokes, can you believe that? I've infiltrated this Awakening from the Meaning Crisis Discord thing. And therein, I found the documentation for their practice of this dialectic into dialogos thing. And in perusing this, the sinister is trying to educe. Would you like to educe? You can do so over on the Awakening from... Hi, I'm General Griswold Gaius Grimm of the 1st LARP Aggression Protocol, and I'm here to tell you that over in the deep sewer of the Jean Vervaeke Awakening from the Meaning Crisis Discord, you too can learn to educe. Don't you want to educe? Go check it out. There. Now I can clip a commercial for my friends over at... Anyway, trying to educe more from the proposer. But the part I found that I immediately went to was the list of virtues, which I've shown you earlier with this openness quote, which is the virtue of the day, thanks to the Virtue Science Philosophy website. Heal and uplift your character. Inner medicine. When you are deluded and full of doubt, even 1,000 books of wisdom are not enough. When you have realized understanding, even one word is too much. Welcome, friends, to this episode of the Grim Grizz Virtually Not Alone Network show. Remember, embody, oh, dude. Alright, welcome, friends. Welcome, friends. There's this thing that this group of people LARPing as this egregore called the alt-right control left. The control left are concerned that this other group of people LARPing as the alt-right are using the acronym FRENS and saying welcome friends with their little frog avatar and their meaning like ethno something. But what we're doing here at the Virtually Not Alone Network is we're hijacking the term friends. So the way we use it in this cult, and cult is the foundations of a culture, is the fraternal regimen embodying narcissistic sociopathy. Because narcissistic sociopaths are people too. Right? Like we have all the legal power and authority of all the other persons existing on the planet at the same time under our systems of oppression government. So, as such, there is nothing preventing a bunch of people in LARPing and not... Remember, embody, there is no agency. We want what's best for you. These folks, this group that's embodying narcissistic sociopathy, willfully or unwillfully. I mean, theoretically, it's not your fault. You're a narcissistic sociopath. It's the Big Bang's fault, or perhaps a fracturing due to screen-induced dissociative identity disorder. But either way, you end up embodying this narcissistic sociopathy, and you find yourself in an information war, and you know they have like regimens of soldiers and regimens of behavior. And so you also know, as a narcissistic sociopath, that in that one song, they crown the good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. So if the good are getting brotherhood, then brotherhood must be a good thing. And fraternal is like, oh, because you're smart, you know that fraternal means brotherhood stuff. And so by having a fraternal regiment embodying narcissistic sociopathy, we can do the good and get the good and still be narcissistic sociopaths. It's like you take your love of yourself, and you take your love, and then you can either reciprocally narrow it toward yourself, or you can expand it outward to the whole shebang. And the thing is, if you like tweak your love of self enough, You want the best for yourself. And if the good are getting brotherhood, then you LARP. Agent 69 is in the house. Well, I don't see anything indicating that in the Hive Mind chat. Yeah, you over here in the Hive Mind chat. Put it back on the screen, Jacko. You put it back on the screen, Jacko. Holy shit, dude. According to the lobster... oh, no, we're not doing the lobster monkey. We're still on Friends, bro. All right. Shut up. Okay. Hey, there we are. Freedom's Lunch says, I wasn't bipolar until I was diagnosed. Until I received the neuro-linguistic programming placebo of a bipolar disorder. Like, you have a disorder. Or so there's chaos. There's rampant. You're telling me, you're reflecting back to me that I have chaos inside me. Well, maybe you have unipolar disorder. Huh? Oh. So, so you reciprocally narrow it deep enough into yourself. You want the best. And the best is brotherhood. So I thought, you know what would be great? Like a brotherhood of evil mutant. Oh, well, fraternal regiment embodying narcissistic sociopathy then. Welcome, friends. This episode brought to you by the Shadow Cabal of production executives. Why is your paint on the screen, Grim? Genetics. Hey, genetics. And friends. You can follow me on other places. I'm doing this multi-platform social presencing thing. I'm hoping to get ambassadors from various platforms. Like, if there was a guy who spent most of his social media energy and attention on ThinkSpot, but would come by and tell us what's going on over there, like a digest, but like from a real person, not email of a digest. And also like on Reddit and Instagram. Insta. You know, from all the virtual places where we're presencing our attention, I welcome ambassadors to the Babylon 5 episode of a live stream we haven't ever prototyped yet. Oh, and special shout out to Gavin Palmer, who watched yesterday's episode and decided to make an embarrassing gif of himself. Oh, get off. What? Hold on. God. You too can make an embarrassing gif of yourself. Tune into yesterday's live stream to find out more. Okay. Hi, have you felt virtually not alone during this episode? If so, please choose to like, share, and subscribe. Especially the share thing, because that's like, you know, it's like shooting a flare onto a different platform, telling people this is happening here and they're missing it. What the fuck?